Earlier we looked at ways in which selecting the sample size could introduce bias into a survey. We could also introduce bias in the questioning. There are three different types of biased questions. A biased question could be one that encourages one response over others, or a question that's too sensitive to answer truthfully, or a question that doesn't give enough information to answer it accurately. So, if the question was, do you agree with the amendments in the Clean Air Act? This seems like a pretty straightforward question, but it is biased. The reason is, what about the Clean Air Act? Do you know about the Clean Air Act? Do you know about the amendments to the Clean Air Act? Because it's so simple, it does create bias because there's not enough information. Now, how could you change this question to make it less biased? Well, you could actually list a specific amendment to the Clean Air Act that you're talking about. Do you agree with, air pollution control part, or do you agree with, the way they use money part, or something? Now, how about if a police officer is giving a survey and they ask, do you wear your seatbelt? Well, this is one of those things that are, the question, it's a straightforward question. It's not a bad question, and in most situations a person would answer truthfully. However, it's because the police officer is asking the question that it makes the question too sensitive to answer truthfully. If I don't wear my seatbelt, I don't want to tell a cop that I don't wear my seatbelt. So I'm going to say, oh yeah, I wear that thing all the time. So how could you make this question less biased? Well, just have somebody who's not a cop ask it, or don't ask it in a police type setting. That'd be the easiest way to do it. At first glance, this last one looks like a pretty good question just because it's long enough. It probably's got a ton of information in there. Maybe it's good. But we look at it more closely, and many national parks are being heavily damaged by acid rain. Do you favor government funding to help prevent acid rain? Well, this is one of those situations where the question kind of encourages one response. And the reason for that is this first sentence: the many national parks are being heavily damaged by rain. If I tell you that first and then ask you if if the government should fund that, it's kind of introducing that little level of guilt. Saying that thing like, hey, you're kind of a bad person if you don't say it my way. So how could we make this question not biased? We'll just get rid of this first sentence and just come out straightforward and say, do you favor government funding to help prevent acid rain? The acid rain part, it's got enough information, and most people, anybody who's taken science in high school should know about acid rain and know about government funding and stuff like that. So that's how we can make these questions less biased.